I told you something about APAR last time in the last videos. Today I will tell you about lab and the way how we combine both to create a care plan. How can we optimize the business process of doctors and nurses in SAP RSH? Many people use SAP RSH as basic for control their patient data and build their services. But this is not enough because a lot of processes in the hospital are still based on paper. And according to new German law, we need to change them digital. This is the reason why we have implemented APA and LAP Arithmetics, Digital Patient Act, and SAP RHH. Now come back to APA. APA is an abbreviation and means Efficient Care Analysis. Nurses use it in order to check how a patient can help himself. It divides in many categories, and as I told last time, SPI is the value index which you will get after checking, and it keeps the status in points. What is lab? Lab is like paper. It is a catalog and comes from the Swiss. The catalog is standardizes and certifies it. It is implemented in about 700 hospitals. These organizations has observed the nurses by their work and measures the time by their work. Afterwards, they determine an average time for that service. This time is accepted by the insurance, so this is the advantage by using this catalog. LAP or lab is divided in categories like APAR so that you can have a corresponding between them, like personal hygiene, mobility, nutrition, um, elimination of excrement. Besides, there are another categories like education, conversation, activities, accompaniment, care, security, social emotion support, therapies, and prophylaxis. Such categories or services are important too, but they are not the standard service which are underlined through SPI. So how can I create a nursing care plan? How is the process running here? First, I need to check the patient using APA and know which services are needed. Second, I choose the relevant services for the corresponding disability. Third, I decide how often the service will apply per day, per week, per month, or once time. Fourth, at which time should it be done and give it release. Why do I give you a lot of explanation about the business processes of nurses and doctors? Because of our configurations and optimization on SAP pairs on them. We need to know how the use case are done and the logic of their decisions. Without them, we cannot implement correctly and cannot make the optimization or change the process from paper to digital. Without them, we will have some lags in the processes and will end with customer discontent. Here I show you the process in a picture again. As the customer arrives as new patient, I check him or her depend on the EPA method. If the patient can take care of himself, I only create a standard nursing plan for him. Otherwise, I make a nursing plan which corresponds to his disabilities. This process has to repeat every day. If nothing changes in his status, I do not need to change the APAR and can plan or care plan as by status change to better conditions, I have to take out the services or vice versa. Afterwards, all the services per day have to be acknowledged by the nurse who look at this patient. By leaving the hospital, the last check with APAR should be done in order to have the last status of the customer. Sometimes we have to give the information to the ambulance organization who will take care of him at home. Have a look in SAP now. Here you see the screen of SAP after logging in the system. On the left, rooms of this department will be listed. In every room, one had many beds. Let's check the patient Decker Schwein. He is in the first room with the number B82561B. Go in the middle of the screen, you see a column where I mark it with the rectangle. This is called EPA Kids. By this patient, this is rate, round. The cause is the APAR is older than 3 days, so the APAR need to be done from the beginning. By the yellow triangle, you have to do the APAR 2 days, else it will change to red. This patient can help himself, but he needs a lot of services because his APAR SSI is only 20 or 40. EPA SSI is the method used by children. It tells us about its self-reliance or self-sufficiency. By an X mean it is a new customer and EPA has to be done by nurse. So only with this screen you have an overview about your patients and how you have to service them. If I am a nurse and in the morning I need to help my customer, so I only need to look at this overview and how before I go in the room, I know which customer I need to help and which services should I do by him. Here's the EPA screen. At first, we see the name of the customer, his birthday, the name of nurse, the gender, EPA status. Next, there are a lot of registers. From left to right, you see master data or personal data, added information, the categories of APA like mobility and so on. The register cognitions is open and marked in blue. Under of this register, you see the question of APA for this group. The first box exists only by children. They told us about the compensations ability and take over opportunities of childcare by the parents. By the question of understanding requests, I open the options to value the response. You can give 1 to 4 points here. At the end of all categories, you will have maximum 3 points and a minimum of 10, which is very low by adult. For certain, we need to look after the age of them and decide. I introduce you the cockpit of APA. Here you get an overview about a patient with his opportunities, his disabilities, and risks. The register is marked in blue. On the left, you see KFI of 39. It says the parents have the compensations ability to have child. UBI is the real abilities of parents. SSI is the child self-reliance. At the bottom, you see the left catalog which was automatically created by the system depending on your EPA or APA. By creating the new care plan, where I show the arrow 5, you can see your complete plan and can choose the service needed. So the correct care plan depends on the values of the patient, and the value depends on how exactly you have met your APA. Here's the complete plan. The category cognitions is open, and you see the system has chosen for services itself. There are more services listed here, and you can choose more if it is needed. At the end, you can end the process by clicking the green hex symbol. Now you understand the process, how it should work, and ask yourself, what is my task? At the beginning, I told you that the catalog has about 800 services. If a nurse sit there and need to go through 800 services by every disability, and she need half a day to make her work. So our task is to the filter for them for short categories and only choose the most needed and show them. It reduces the time and expenditure. They still have the change to get another services and the rest of the list over the options of searching in the list. It sounds very easy, but this shortlist should be used for the hospital and all departments with their specialists. So a lot of communications, meetings, and deciding are done for the preparation. And at last, the IT will implement it in the SIP RSH. On the slide, you see the time cycle, which is used to define the interval of applying the services. This cycle is an in-house defined cycle. Every service has to do by time and interval, how often they will be done by day, week, or month. This table is used for the whole hospital. Come back to the first screen. In APA, you see that the APA of the patient was released. We see the green banner. The system has accepted your check as it will give errors and you need to go in the APA and check it again. So you see it is only one process and we need a lot of preparation, understanding how it works and implement it in the system The process has to define data should gain screen design, data should be filtered, and process should be automated at the end. You can get more advantages by creating care plan depending on specialties so that the nurses only need to choose them without choosing uh, every services and some layout for APA process. So I hope you can take some information with you about APA, LEP, and SAP RSH, and the transformation of nursing process from paper to digital. We have done some more work with digital patient egg and with arithmetics for medication order. So see you again.